Hey everyone, Shane here from Freetechtorials.com, and I'm here today bringing your first HTML tutorial. In this tutorial today we're going to go over a little bit about what HTML is and kind of show you guys the basic structure of it. So HTML is also known as, or stands for, Hypertext Markup Language. And what HTML is, it's the language that web browsers use to display information on the page. So whenever you open a web page out there with one of your web browsers, and information is displayed, a big majority of the information comes from HTML code. So even if a web page is written in like a lot of JavaScript or PHP or some other language, normally there's also a lot of HTML code that's in there that kind of gives it structure and helps the web browser know kind of what to do. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to show you the basic way to make an HTML document, and then in future tutorials we'll go through kind of some different cool things you can do with HTML and kind of how that works. So to write HTML code, the first thing you need is a good text editor. What I've got open here on the screen is the one that I like to use. It's called Notepad++. I like this one because it does some cool things for you. It gives you some line numbers on the left hand side. It also color codes your text depending on what language you're writing in. You can use any text editor though. If you like to use Notepad or WordPad or even something like Microsoft Word will work. This is the one I like to use though, so if you're interested in trying it, I would definitely recommend it. You can just do a Google search for Notepad++, and it's out there free to download and free to use. So to get started writing HTML, the first thing we need to do is we need to create what are called tags. So there's several different tags that you use inside of HTML document to kind of do the layout. So there's three main tag types we need to use to start our layout for our HTML document. So the first one we're going to use is the HTML tag. And doing this right here, doing the less than sign, the word HTML, and the greater than sign, that's what's called an opening tag. And anytime we open a tag, we also have to close a tag. So we're basically going to do the same thing, except we're going to put a / in front of HTML. And so what we've done here is we've created an opening HTML tag and a closing HTML tag. And we'll put a couple spaces in between there. So what this does is whenever your web browser goes to read this file, it knows when it's going through it that says, okay, here's where the HTML starts and here's where the HTML ends. So I know anything in between here is the HTML code that I need to work through and display out information onto the user screen kind of based on what's in here. So give us a little more space there. Two other tags that we need to create are the head tag. So we do that the same way, and anytime we open a tag, we also want to go ahead and close it. Now if you wanted to, you could go ahead and create the opening tag first, write whatever information you're going to write in there, and then later on do the closing tag. However, I like to do the opening and closing tags at the same time. That way I find it's not as common that I forget to close a tag if I do it immediately than if I wait to do it later. So those are HTML, our head tags. And since our head tags are within our HTML tags, we're going to go ahead and indent those over, and that way it just kind of makes things a little bit easier to understand how everything's laid out and structured. So the third type of tag we're going to need is called the body tag. So grab that here, go ahead and go to the closing body tag. Alright, give us some space there. So those are the three main tags that you need inside an HTML document. There's tons more, like I said, that you use to do lots of different cool things, but these are the ones pretty much any HTML document you're going to write are going to have these main three tags: HTML, head, and body. Now the head tag, we know that the HTML tag is the one that tells the web browser that this is where my HTML code starts and stops. The head tag is used for kind of some housekeeping type stuff. You usually don't put information on there that's going to be seen by your users. Usually in the head tag it's going to be things like links to other documents that tell HTML how to look. They're called style sheets, and we can talk about those in the future. There might also be some meta information you might put in here, which is what search engines use to kind of, when they're searching your sites, know what your site is about and how to index it. But the main place you're going to be working in your HTML code is inside these body tags. That's kind of where the meat and potatoes of your website is going to be. So for now, we're just going to write some simple text. We'll do this is HTML, and that way we can save it and run it, and you guys can see kind of how this looks. So we'll just go File, save. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Alright, one important thing to know here is you need to, for an HTML file, it has to end in the extension .html. So it's going to be real important that you look down here and save as type. Whenever you're going to put in your own extension on a file, you always want to save it as a type text. If you accidentally had one of these selected and you're saving it as something different than text, then putting that HTML extension on the end may not let your computer recognize it as an HTML file. So this drop down should say text, and then you just type in .html after your file name. So like I said, I'll save that to my desktop here, save, bring that over so you can see it. So now we've got here is an HTML file, and the reason it has that icon on it is because that's the Chrome icon, and that's my default web browser on my computer. So it automatically notices that this is an HTML file, and the computer automatically knows, hey, I open these files with a web browser, and this is my user's default web browser. So I'm going to go ahead and double click it to open it. And there we go. You can see right there, it printed out on the screen, this is HTML. It's exactly what we put here in between that opening and closing body tag. So that's pretty simple. There's really not much to it, but in future tutorials we'll go through, we'll show you guys how to do things like color code, change the font, make things italic or bold, or even create hyperlinks to other pages and things like that. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Stay tuned. If you don't already have a good text editor, make sure you get one downloaded. And yeah, if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Catch you guys next time.